Hello and welcome to this week on Drinking with Dave. I think I'll start off this episode with a quick retraction. Last week I said that the McArdle's was being brewed in County Louth in Dundalk at the old McArdle's brewery. As of 2008 that is no longer true. It is now being brewed at St James's Gate in Dublin. Also a little hiccup in the order. Last week I said that you should vote on the beers that I should taste next, and I completely forgot that I have this beer. Now this is a Muntons Scottish style heavy ale, and I had this in demijohns and bottles and I just completely forgot about it in terms of tasting it on the show. So I'll just give you the particulars of the beer. The date of brewing was the 19th of October 2011. The demijohning was the 24th of October, so 5 days ferment. We then bottled it on the 28th of November, so a month, and the first taste is now the 16th of December, so it's been in the bottles for about 16 days now, and it was in the demijohn for about a month, so it's about 6 weeks. As usual, we used spray malt light, used 1 kilogram of that. We used 23 litres of water and end up 21 litres of beer. Because of the demijohning we lost it. The original gravity was 1.042. The final gravity was, this at the time of demijohning, was 1.015, and then the true final at bottling was 1.013. So that means the approximate alcohol percentage is 3.6 to 4.1, and the true, which is from the demijohning, before the demijohning, and then the true final is probably about 3.8 to 4%. So very reasonable beer. So we'll start off, as usual, with the visual inspection. I poured a nice big head when I poured this. It's gone down some, but the head is sticking around. It is quite nice. The lacing is very nice, actually. Very hoppy beer. You can see the little bits of lacing on the glass as well. The color is kind of a toffee brownish color. Held up to light, it's a pretty light red going to yellow in places. But usually it's just this kind of toffee brownish red color. It's very nice looking part. You see the lacing there. The oils and the hops make the foam stick to the side of the glass so it doesn't slide down. And then the proteins in the beer are what makes the head stay together like that. Which is, there's not much protein in soda, which is why you don't get a head on it. Anyway, let's just do the smell test. Not much there. If you can't really smell your beer, give it a little whip like that, just to get the smell on it. Yeah, there's a slight sweetness there, and then you get hops. It's not a fruity kind of sweetness, it's a sugary kind of brown sugar, something like that. You get a little bit of that hop, but not much. The hop is much more on the taste than it is on the smell. Slight orangey smell, a bit like oranges or citrus zest, something like that. Anyway, let's move on to the taste. Right away there's a great lightness that comes up with this. It's very well carbonated. The lightness comes up first, and then there's this big bitter hop. It doesn't taste like well, it tastes a lot like a bitter actually. And there's a slight hint of sweetness to it. Let's do another tasting. Yeah, initially there's a mild sweetness, then the hop comes on. This beer is very well hopped. It is oily on the mouthfeel though. You get in the back of your mouth after you eat chocolate, or milk chocolate. You have that kind of that weird sensation in the back that's making my voice odd now. That strange sensation in the back of your mouth that it's coated with something. That's the oiliness in the hops coming out. So it is a very respectably hopped beer. I didn't expect this at all from this heavy. I thought it would be like McArdle's or something, or it just would be kind of a big sweet pint, but it's very hoppy. You see the lacing again there. Great lacing. Okay, so I'll move on to my notes here that I've collected. Yellow, brown, red body. Oh, yeah. And then a light yellow head. The head is a little yellow, not really tan, but it's not white either. Mostly small bubbles on top, which makes for a great head formation. The beer is well carbonated. The lacing, well, you can see it yourself. It's good. Looks good. Mildish bitter taste. It does have a bitter taste, but it's more the hops that are what you're getting. Oily mouthfeel. It's a traditional ale or beer taste, or a traditional beer taste. When people refer to, pints of beer, they don't mean pints of, well, they do mean pints of lager these days, but when people talk about an old traditional ale or something, like the campaign for real ale people, when they say beer, they mean a brown beer. They mean something like this. It is tangy on the aftertaste, which is quite nice. Very hoppy. Has an oranges kind of taste. Tastes like orange or orange zest or something like that there. So it's nice and tangy, but it's and a little citrusy, but it's not lemony. It's much more like the orange than the lemon, so it's not as citrusy as, say, an IPA or something. But it leans in that direction. It actually, on mouthfeel and the composition and the head and everything, it's very much like a draft beer. You would expect this beer to have been poured with the carbonation and the head and the lacing and stuff. The majority of the flavor is derived from the hops. Yeah, and a toasty malt. So that's why the beer is brown. There's a bit of toasty malt in here. Very easy to return head. So if you take your beer like that and you do the whip for the smell test, I know I've just destroyed all my lacing, but I don't care. Then you can reform a much bigger head back on it, and the lacing still sticks around a bit. I think that great head is actually trapping a lot of the smell out of the beer. It's not really letting you smell it correctly. A zingy, piney kind of taste, and it's very well carbonated. So yeah, it's like a bitter with a little back of sweetness. The sweetness is a subtle taste, but the majority of the flavor of what you're getting is either the toasty kind of malts, brownish malts, giving you that brown beer look and that brown beer taste, traditional ale taste, like the McCardles last week, I suppose. And then you get this nice hop, which is nice, and it's bitter and it's also zingy, so it's a kind of nice balance between the two. The strength of this beer and the composition of it with the hops, it makes it very, very drinkable. The entire reason that I made this beer for Christmas was that I wanted to have a beer for sessioning, because some of the ones we made have been quite strong. I mean, one of the box we made was 6.8 and the Heineken was like 7.2 or something. So they were very strong beers and they weren't very sessionable. They were delicious. They were not sessionable beers. You couldn't really drink 5 or 6 of those in a sitting, and I wanted over Christmas to have a beer that I could sit down in session. And this is very nice because the flavor is complicated enough to make it very nice to drink, but the percentage is low enough. I mean, it could be as low as 3.6 here, depending on the math I did, but it's about 3.8 to 4%, so it's very, very drinkable and tastes much better than most of the other beers that are out there at 4%. At the start of the episode, I mentioned the voting for the next Drinking with Dave. I collected up about maybe 16, I think 14 to 16 beers, something like that, for doing Drinking with Dave, because I went to Northern Ireland and got a huge rundown of beers and got a whole bunch of stuff in Letterkenny as well. So what I'm going to be doing over the coming weeks is tasting those. But what I thought I would do was do it by viewer demand. So instead of giving you the whole list and having people pick in comments and stuff, I'll just give you 2. Now, one of these already has 1 vote from last week, so I'll carry that vote over. So the 2 I'm looking at to do next week for the Christmas episode, or the episode just before Christmas, is either this, which is a 1-liter can of German lager, which is called Kaiserdom. Now this is 4.5%. It is 34 US fluid ounces, 1,000 milliliters, 100 cl. It's a liter. It's 1 liter of beer. It's a big can. It's got the little pull tab on it. So what I'm going to do is I have a 1-liter German Stein, so I'm going to be getting the Stein and putting this in it and doing that for the episode. Now if you want that, the Kaiserdom, please do leave a comment down below. Don't leave like 5 or 6 comments, because comments coming from the same account voting for the same beer won't be counted. So 1 person, 1 vote. 1 account, 1 vote. The other option is this. Now this is new on the market. This is Guinness Black Lager. I picked this up in Northern Ireland because they're not selling it in the Republic of Ireland right now. This is also 4.5. Yeah, they're both 4.5%. Now this is a 330ml bottle, so this is a little one. So I might drink 2 of these. Because they do tell you, get this ice cold and drink it out of the bottle. So I might get one ice cold out of the bottle, and I might get one and drink it out of a glass, like with everything else I do. So if you'd like to vote for the Guinness Black Lager, just leave a comment down below saying Guinness Black Lager. And if you'd like to vote for the Kaiser Dome, please leave a vote for that as well. Happy holidays to everybody, and I will see you next week on Drinkin' with Dave.